Oh yeah. Here we are. We're back again.
Sometimes that countdown.
Vibing.
Yes,
I'm watching
slamming countdown.
thriving.
Oh man, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. That
countdown
Oh man,
class. Come on,
it really
now.
does. It is Thursday.
I'm like, it's about to be time. Y'all are crazy.
I love it. I love the enthusiasm.
My favorite thing Kyle does is say something wild and then go, "Y'all are crazy."
Y'all are crazy.
Well,
because
the reason is
known me for that long. So
yeah,
again, you choose to be here.
That's it. That's right.
That
is what I have learned from Kyle is that if he's crazy and we constantly choose to hang out with him, then what does that make us? So
crazier.
Yeah. So it is Thursday, December 14th, 2023. We're back to talk some more Challenge 39. And we got to be a little quick on this one because we got Reindeer games to talk about after this.
Yeah.
So we're gonna fly through. Yeah, that's right. We're gonna fly through this recap. It's not too much to talk about anyway, I don't think. But let's kick this sucker off. Here we go.
Let's do it.
It feels good every time. Love it.
Hell yeah.
My name is John Dunphy Judea, of course, standing my Queen Mariah, which is kind of being a little bit sloppy lately. But anyway, of course, with me as always are my ride or dies, Mr. Kyle Petty Young, standing, of course, King Kai.
Also with his troubles.
True. And of course, Miss Gina Morgino Kaiser, standing Olivia, of course.
And it appears John and I are about to be at odds very soon.
Her troubles to come.
A lot of drama. But we are Strat Chat, your favorite reality TV podcast. Find us on all the socials at Strat Chat Pod. Find us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Please give us like a review. It's very helpful. We would love that. But yeah, comment, subscribe.
Nice things,
leave a review only if you like us.
Review, if you will.
Right.
Yeah.
Report your stuff.
We'll take 5 stars, please.
Abuse.
But all right. So listen, what do we have in this episode? It felt like one of the things I wanted to bring up before we get to the daily challenge was seeing how close Melissa and Asaf were, because apparently their parents in there and have kind of like said that they would look out for each other. And I'm only bringing that up because it'll kind of come back around once we get to the end of the daily challenge. Yeah. Anything else before the daily challenge that you guys were thinking about? I know that we saw like the US Alliance talking about Mariah not really loving how close she is with James and Zara. But that's kind of been going on, I think, the last few weeks anyway. So
yeah, it's been going on. And I think that there's certainly more to say about that later in the episode. But like I'm really like super tired of the whole Mariah and Bananas narrative. Like that was never that much of a thing. Like
a cornerstone of the season. I'm like, I feel like we would have seen it if it was that serious, you know?
Right.
Like
I don't know what you're talking about. Like we have this conversation between Olivia and Mariah talking about, how do you feel? Like what's going on? You ready to move on from Bananas? And it's like nobody knew that was the thing that carried on after. Like I never gave that even a single second thought. That seemed completely situational because we're all in the same seasons together. You are obviously very attractive. Johnny Bananas is obviously top 3 hottest men on the planet Earth. So of course, like there's some chemistry there. I mean, like 2 bombshell people, but I didn't think it went any further than that. Like I just thought we were smashing.
I agree. I also, just since we're here, I'm just going to bring it up now, obviously, without saying who went home yet. Our mercenary for this episode was Tori. And I just kind of felt like, I know I'm tired of seeing Tori anyway, but like, I just felt like the little like shout out, like the kind of calling out Mariah for hooking up with James, like saying like, Mariah, this is not good. Like I get Tori's friends with Bananas, but is there anybody that is like, that should be talking that should be like shutting their mouth more than Tori when it comes to like hooking up with people in the house. And like, I don't know. I feel like she always in some kind of drama, filled showmance with somebody. We got the whole thing about how, Jordan, was talking about how Tori was hooking up with, was it Fessy or whatever, that one season
Yeah.
right after they broke up? Like, you know what I mean? I
Mhm.
just feel like, shut up, Tori. Like, if anybody's gonna say something, like Tori's the last person I expect to say something. So
It sucks.
Most of the mercenaries that have come in have had something to say about that. Like, was it Devin or was it Jordan that said something about Mariah and James?
I think Devin, which I'm assuming is how Tori found out about this, because then part of me, for a split second, I was like, how does Tori even know this?
Yeah.
Like, how does she even know that this is going on? Then I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
I bet
it was Devin. I
Devin
remember
said
like,
something.
on his little like exit confessional. He was like, "Man, Mariah is like for sure with that guy." So like, I don't know what that's about. And it's like, but I like, again, I feel like if the bananas thing was like a real thing, we would have seen them together in the off season, like some kind of a something, you know?
Right, because even when Bananas was dating Morgan, from BBOTT, like we saw her all over the place. We know that she was the one who influenced some of the pink and teal merchandise on the Johnny Bananas website.
Yeah.
So like, let's not. So like, we always get to see these people after the fact. So come on,
Right.
stop it. You're just trying to make Mariah relevant, because we attached her to Fessy during Ride or Dies, and we found out post-season that Mariah and Fessy don't actually really know each other. They were just like gym partners. Somebody just go to the same gym. So like, okay, so the same place dings us for $39.99 a month. That does not make us Ride or Dies. Like, get the hell out of here. Like, everything about Mariah's appearance in the challenge can be contested. And
Because I do remember, like, in Ride or Die, she was a pretty sick competitor. Like, it could just be down to, like, she is strong, she is good in competitions. We don't need extra something to put her on the map, you know?
Right. Just say she's good at what she does, and that's why she's in the challenge. Stop trying to link her to the other people, because it's also super far-fetched. Like, I'm still down for, after last week and her. I'm sorry. I'm not going to talk to you about that. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I am definitely down for Mariah being in this environment. I'm not going to challenge her presence, but like, I'm challenging her connections. Because crap.
The narrative is what's not. Yeah.
Like, just stop it. Just stop it. Mariah's here because she's good TV and she understands the game. That's enough. We don't need any more than that. So just cut it out.
Yeah, for sure. But okay, how about this daily challenge? It was called Doomsticks, and I got to tell you, I thought this was some bullshit, to be totally honest. We had 7 teams of 2 and 1 team of 3, and this was not like the type of challenge where like one group having like one team having an extra person like wasn't that much of an advantage. I felt like this was such a huge advantage in this particular competition.
Know why they do this.
We had the one team of 3 was Asaf, Raven, and Zara, right? And they won every single round of this thing. Every single round they won.
Of course they did.
They had 3 people.
I know, like it just wasn't even fun to watch to me.
And yeah.
No.
I honestly checked out of it. Like I like barely watched it after a while because I was like, this is a very obvious win.
Right, which is super shameful because in a challenge like this, I don't remember seeing anything like this in this challenge, right? You've got these different stages. You get to eliminate people from eligibility to continue as you go along. That's so cool.
It could have been so fun.
Right. It should have been such an exciting thing, but because you've got this 3-person team, it totally took away from what it should have been.
Yeah.
Totally.
So I've been trying to do this standouts and slackers thing in this, and honestly, I don't even want to give the team of 3 a standouts, even though they won. So I guess the only one that I would pick is Emmanuel and Berna because they were the closest ones to come, to winning it as a 2-person team. So I guess I would give it to them. I don't even want to give anybody anything like slackers here either, because how was anybody supposed to beat this team? Yeah, everyone was at a disadvantage.
I would give my standout award though to Berna because she was in a lot of pain. She was really, really struggling, and she still continued forward. Like she didn't allow that to stop her.
She's if we're talking about sick competitors, like she is up there.
She's got that warrior champion spirit, and that's what we like to see. Even if she doesn't win at the end of this whole thing, it's like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for actually playing. Thank you for really having your heart in it. Yeah. Her social game
Yeah.
might be crap, but 3 cheers to Berna.
Right. Right. So yeah, that's the daily challenge. Really, did you like the challenge overall? Though, I mean, like it looked like it could have been fun. This Doom sticks to 3
Right. It
different
should have
rounds, the
been.
speed
It would have been
sticks, power
sick.
sticks. Yeah, but
Yes, it had good bones. We had sabotage involved,
yeah,
eliminations along the way. This was an amazing comp.
yeah, good bones for sure.
Real good bones, real good. I'd like to see this again, just evenly
Done
split.
better.
Yeah.
Right.
All you need to do is just give us duos. If somebody dominated all the way to the end, I wouldn't contest that at all. But like, don't get to the end of this and say, "Oh, this is actually harder with 3 people." Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because the only reason you're here is because you had 3 people. So
Right.
even if you had a little bit more of a challenge at the end of this, it didn't change the outcome, right? But even if you had a little bit of a challenge, don't you deserve it? Like, ain't nobody feeling bad for you at this stage. Like, I'm so tired.
Right. It's like that one puzzle at the end was the closest thing we had to an equalizer, and it was like,
Right.
I don't even think it, I don't think it was like a disadvantage to them at all having an extra person for the puzzle. So like,
No, it wasn't.
But so Asaf, Zara, and Raven now had to make a decision about who to put in. We had our second straight women's elimination. It seemed like we had been sort of, going back and forth between men and women, but
Love
TJ
that.
told us in this one that we were going to get a second women's elimination in a row.
I knew either we were going to get a double or another way, like, because nobody left with Kaz, so like they had to kind of even the playing field out. I wasn't shocked that they like went for another women's elimination.
Yeah, it seemed like the players themselves were pretty shocked by it, but it makes sense if you look at the numbers because there were 9 men and 8 women left at this point. So you got to even it up at some point. Why not just right now? So and really led by Raven. This trio decides that they're going to put Melissa in for nomination, which honestly is just getting boring.
Snoozers.
Yeah. But we got a little bit of a tense moment between Kylan and Asaf. I don't even remember exactly what Kylan said.
I remember.
Go ahead, Jeans. Go ahead.
He basically was like, and this is where I have a big problem with this, because before the episode, I had seen Kylan tweet being like, "This is not the same as what happened in Big Brother. I've learned from my mistakes." But like, I actually took a big problem with this because it was so reminiscent of his exit on Big Brother, where like, as soon as this decision was made for Melissa to go in, which again was a decision made by 3 people, Asaf didn't make the decision by himself, but he was like, "Oh, your wife is going to be really upset watching this back, knowing that you sent in another mother when you have a wife at home with a kid and you're a father and you're another parent. So to send another parent in is like really messed up when you've said that you would protect her this whole time." And it's like, I don't know why we have to keep making this so personal.
We have to keep making it so personal because you made it personal by making this commitment to her. The 2 of you made a commitment to each other based on the fact that you are parents. Like, I do get to call that out because you said it. I didn't say it. Y'all came up with this and you didn't honor it. So like, I feel
like if Melissa called it out, I would have been like, yeah, for sure, I get it. It's the fact that it was Kylan that I feel like he didn't really get to comment on this, but
I hear that, but I do think it's a little bit outside of that because he does have a romantic relationship with her. So of course you're going to defend the person that you're kind of riding with. So like, wouldn't I defend either of you if we were playing this game? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you already said you weren't going to do this. Like, why are you doing it? Like, yeah, like, I think he totally has the right to say it. It's Asaf who is just like so fucking ridiculous. I'm so goddamn sick of this man. I cannot take him because I really feel like he's just doing everything he possibly can to make some kind of an argument for himself, just to make all these little fights with people, to have a storyline, to make sure that he's invited to Challenge 40. I am so
about him too,
absolutely tired of us. Oh, you're going to say about my mom. You're going to say, ain't nobody said nothing about your mom. Nobody said anything like that. He very much said your wife.
Right. He was like, your wife and your kid. And like, yeah, like he was like, no, it was like a dig at you, but like you're still kind of like you, it's his wife and his kids. Like I would get it. If he was
goddamn busted up my fucking TV based on this whole thing. I am so sick of this man between Asaf and Jay. I am so through.
If he was upset that Kyland was using his wife, I would be like, all right, like I can maybe wrap my head around that. But it's the fact that he wanted him like say something else about my mom, and it's like no one even said the word mom.
I don't know that woman. I don't know her.
No one said anything about anyone's mom. I don't know why
her.
you're getting mad at this. It's nuts.
He is just so annoying. I'm telling. That's what I'm saying. Any little bit that Kylan can give him that he thinks he can.
They both piss me off.
Oh my gosh! I'm sorry. I think that Kylan was just defending his person, and I think that also. Can you imagine if Kylan did not try to stand up in this moment? I think that Melissa is the kind of person to be like, "What the fuck? You ain't saying nothing. You ain't saying nothing. You were fine with that. You were fine with that. You had no problem." like I think that he would have gotten some blowback later on.
Reason why the Kyland piece of it irked me was because we've already seen him do this before. So it was like, oh, God, yeah. Again, you have to bring the personal family relationships into
Absolutely.
it. Like that's what like ticked me about it.
And that what he did on his way out of BB23 was 110% incorrect. Like that was not right. I don't stand behind that at all. Yeah. I don't think this was that. This because that was him trying to make a case for himself after his case was already closed.
Sure.
You know, it was over. So there's certainly no reason to go there. Here, where this is still a fluid situation, we still know that we have nominations coming up. We can absolutely maybe change the tide when we start highlighting how wrong this was. Like maybe we can get other people in the house. Like, you know what? I'm not going to add to this. I'm going to nominate somebody who we might want to see in there more to protect Melissa. Maybe get as much as we can get people on her side, even though it kind of doesn't matter, right? Because you have this draw, like it doesn't really matter. But like, we don't need people working against her anymore over some foundation that is flawed.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
Standing behind my man. Sorry.
No, I hear that because, like I said, I don't really have much else to add. I agree that like it's funny that it's Kyland bringing up someone else's family member. Like that part is funny to me. Like,
yeah, it feels very familiar.
But it is definitely different. Like Melissa has nobody else in there. I'm sure Kyland, especially after Big T has left, feels like I got to be the one to speak up. It's not the first time we've seen him speak up on Melissa's behalf. Also, like, he has done that. But yeah. So I do think it's different than the BB23 situation. But yeah, it was just funny. Kyland's talking about someone else's family member again. Yeah. But yeah, that's all.
Kyland loves going for the jugular, man.
He sure does.
Yeah.
You said what? Yeah, he's a toughie.
Oh, God.
That's my man. That's my man.
But so, you know, we had another interesting club night with Melissa kind of getting into it with someone else with the Saf. So some drama there. It's very interesting also. Emmanuel really has gotten this reputation. He was getting very close with Colleen. And then at club night, he was dancing with everybody else. I felt bad for
Bigelow.
Yeah, I felt bad for Colleen. I really did. I felt bad for her.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had. Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say I feel like we still don't really know her that well. Like we've been getting more bits of Colleen than I think we did the last time we saw her on the challenge. But like, I still don't really think I know her. But like, I'm still endeared towards her, which is kind of interesting. Because I can't tell you what standout moment I have for Colleen outside of this episode, but I very much don't want her to go.
I feel the same way. Yeah.
Right. And it's based on nothing. So it's like, that's kind of interesting.
I can't tell you what it specifically is that I like about her. I just know I really like her.
But I know I like her. Yeah. I don't know. It's completely unjustified, but like it is there.
I also think part of it for me too is like, because I remember her being like a pretty good competitor on Ride or Dies. And it feels like a long time ago now. So I couldn't even really point to like exact things that she won or things like that. But I do remember her making a comment to somebody on this season being like, yeah, you know, when I was in Ride or Dies, they kept throwing me down. Apparently she was in like 4 eliminations in that season.
I remember the two of them being like, I remember them being like the target for a while.
Absolutely.
So if she went down there 4 times, we know that she won at least 3 eliminations. So I feel like her performance on that season probably was was a big reason that we really enjoyed her.
Right.
So,
right.
I'm still very interested to see how all this Mariah stuff shakes out too. Just not specifically Mariah, just the fact that she's linked to James. People are looking at that, and we saw James in this episode start talking about how he wants to go after one of the big female targets in the U.S. alliance, like Olivia and Nerys. And I'm just very interested to see how that is all gonna shake out moving forward.
Yeah, it's so messy, so messy.
Sue. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. But at nominations, it was pretty straightforward. We did get a couple of votes out there. Emmanuel voted for Mariah, Nerys voted for Berna, and then everybody else pretty much just voted for Colleen. So that was the pair that we got going into elimination was Melissa and Colleen.
Just find these deliberations to be so lame right now because like nobody wants to be the one to stir the pot, but in their little confessionals that were intercut throughout this deliberation, we heard so many people say they wanted to put in Mariah, and if all of those people had voted for Mariah, it would have at least been a tie and then like go from there. But because nobody wanted to be that person, it would just became everyone voting with who everybody else wants to go in. But enough people wanted Mariah to go in that they easily could have gotten her there.
Yeah.
I feel like people are like scared now because some like these deliberations got so like messy at the start of the season. Like it was nice to see some like Colleen like knew she was on the chopping block but didn't like say anything stupid. Which is I feel like early in the season it was like if somebody knew that they were up, it felt like they were always they felt like they had to they had to speak up, and then they ended up just digging themselves a bigger hole. So I feel like it's gotten a little bit like dull because no one wants to like step up and say anything that's going to get them in more trouble than they're already in at this point.
I just hate vote with the house situations. I hate it on Big Brother and I hate it here.
Right. And I will say at least that like at least some people threw some other votes out there. Like they were not. They didn't change the tide. They were not. They did not become major conversation points. But at least some people did do some of the things they said. Yeah. And I'm actually going to like go a little bit retroactive. Like go back here and like that is what Corey asked for weeks ago. He said, "Can we just play? Just say who you want to go up and say why." People are doing it.
Yeah.
So. There is that.
Not enough of them.
No, not enough. But like, did he start a trend?
Yeah.
Just leave that there. Hey, see how that one pans out. Right. It could be absolutely nothing.
Right.
It could just be a one episode thing, But...
And I will say too, because like, especially after that deliberation where he was talking about how he like was just lying to and using Big T and Melissa, like it felt for weeks that Corey was about to be out the door, and you really got to hand it to him. Like he's still in there, and it feels like he's definitely repaired his game at least a bit. I'm sure his name will come up again. Who knows when? But like
everything is quiet. He's doing the Berna game,
To be fair, like he has had the advantage of the subsequent two eliminations both being women's eliminations, so like he wasn't really in danger, so he got to kind of lay low and be like, all right, how do I quietly kind of mend this a little bit, because he never had to worry about potentially being the vote in.
That is absolutely true, but like let's give him his flowers where they are due.
Because he's still putting the work in.
We are socially aware enough to know, hey, I need to pump the brakes hard, right? Let's cool this sucker off. Let's be quiet. Let's just like let some of these things just kind of go as they may. Especially he even knows that, because he made that comment after Melissa had thrown that drink in Raven's fucking face when he was just like, you know what? I just love that I see a drama going on and just sit back and eat my popcorn. Right? He knows he needs to start separating himself from some of this nonsense.
And what is going to be good for him now too is the two people that would have come for him for that are the two people that immediately left. Like Big T and Melissa were the ones that were mad at him, and they are now a non-issue.
I don't love.
Well,
right. Well, I also think it's good. We're talking about Corey benefiting from it being like 2 straight women's eliminations and all that stuff too. But like, what's good for him is that like this blow up between Asaf and Kyland, now there's more attention on them. So I feel like there are other people causing drama now in there that are kind of like a buffer for Corey.
Yeah, that is true.
So
that does work. I'm so damn tired
Not
of
happy about it.
Asaf. Oh, I hate Asaf.
Yeah. Man.
I wanted to
It's-
like him because he does say funny things. Like after that whole drink thing, he was like, "Oh, I got
My
this shirt from Ross, Dress for Less."
yeah. Like
I really
that was
like
my
this shirt.
favorite shirt. Yeah.
Right? Like
As
he
the
really
women are like,
is.
and he's like,
Yes,
yeah,
he
but
really
my
is
shirt
funny.
is the real
But
casualty
exactly,
here.
but like, gosh, I just can't stand him there.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I'm not even sure that he's going to be in danger anytime soon, just because of his connection to Jay.
No, he's good.
So
That's
yeah,
actually the worst part of this story.
right. And I feel like that's where like I've gotten pretty lucky with my team because like I was just given Asaf because that's the last person that was left in the draft, and like none of us knew that he was that connected to Jay. Like
We
like
didn't know a single thing. Let's see Team Dunphy. What's going on over there?
Apparently, the
Have you
third
been
draft
untouched?
spot is the lucky one. He's unscathed.
Untouched. Listen,
First
I would have
draft spot
thought
is
Raven
cursed.
would have been
Third
out of
is
here on
lucky.
her butt. First thing out, but she's fine. James is fine as hell. Leave him to the final. I don't need him to go anytime soon. Yeah, you got a good team. I think these people have really strong social connections as well. Team Dunphy, I think, is in for the long haul.
Oh, team.
I do feel like Zara and James are the two ones that would go out first, just because this U.S. alliance is like steamrolling, and I like as much as Mariah is like trying to work her connections in there. I think at some point when everybody's out except for James and Zara, even though Mariah's working with them, like the U.S. alliance they're not going to care that you're close to them.
They're not going to care, but this could still get interesting because let it be a situation where it's a duo kind of a competition, and like Zara and James are together and they win, which is completely possible.
It's true.
Right? That's not such a far-fetched thing. We don't know how this game is going to go. The U.S. alliance is in trouble. Let them lose a couple of members, and they're going to start having some troubles. And like I'm hoping that that's the case.
Yeah,
because this steamroll is feeling very Big Brothery, and I'm not into it.
I know. Like I'm still enjoying this season of the challenge more than I have some others recently, but I feel like I just feel like the way it started, I was very excited about, and then the last couple of weeks I've been a little down on it.
I'm actually, if we're going to be completely honest, I'm actually not digging the season.
Really?
I don't like enough of these people. I hate their DRs. I get very annoyed. Like I'm not rooting for anyone, to be honest, other than Kyland.
I don't remember if we talked about this on here before or not, but that is like the consensus among the fan base is like this cast is just not doing it for me.
No, this cast is not doing it for me. I'm rooting for Kyland, not even based on what he's done in this game. I'm rooting for Kyland because of what I know of him outside of it. I'm rooting for Kyland because of Big Brother. I'm rooting for Kyland because of Challenge of USA. Challenge USA. Challenge USA. Like I'm not. The season has been rough for me. Spent a lot of time very, very frustrated with people's DRs and stuff like that. See, here it comes. Yeah. Season it's rough. There's no world in which I wouldn't be watching it though. Like even if we weren't covering it, like it's still a challenge. I'm going to watch it. There's no season of challenge I have not seen. So like I'm in for the long haul.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
I'm finishing it, but like this is a toughie for me.
And I really honestly don't even disagree with you. Like I did like how the season started, but I think the last few weeks, like I've been saying, like these deliberations seem kind of boring now. Just constantly throwing in Melissa and Big T has gotten boring.
Yeah, snoozers.
And I agree that some of these people and their DRs, they've started to get a little grating.
Like I don't know why Jay thinks he's some top dog.
Yeah.
Never liked Jay. I'm sorry.
I didn't dislike him before, but now I do. I was on the fence because I was like, Like, if anything, I thought maybe I was endeared towards him because he was always the target of everyone else. But now I'm seeing why he was the target.
Right.
Right. Yeah, and it's like, okay, I'll put you up too.
When he first appeared on the show, and it was that season where you had to go down and earn your skull to go to the final, and everybody kept throwing him in, and he won this elimination, and then he came back and beat CT in another elimination. It was like, man, all these guys are picking on Jay. He seems like such a good competitor, and now it's like, get Jay out of here.
Get this man out of here. If for no other reason than I don't want to see any more of his DRs.
Yeah.
I just want him to be quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Terrible.
And like even Michelle, I've always been like a Michelle fan until this season. I think I understood why people didn't really love her as much, but now like this season especially, she's starting to get to me.
Sorry to Matt Blevins, but like I
to
am.
Matt Blevins.
Sorry to this man.
Yeah, sorry to this man, because I have never really been a big fan of Michelle. I've always wanted to, and it's like I could find some little glimmers of hope that might start me on the path to being endeared towards her. Right, I'm really taking the sucker back. Right, this is not a compliment. That might start me on the path to liking her, and I have still decided to walk the other way.
Yeah.
She doesn't bother me too much. I don't dislike her. I don't love her, but I don't dislike her.
I will like her more when she is eliminated. Like the way she's just like, I didn't realize I had so much power in this game. I really want that to be the thing, and then all of a sudden she's out on her ass. Penniless.
Oh man. But all right, I guess we should get into this elimination because we are starting to run a little short on time. So obviously
Zip it.
No. Well, we're having fun, and I just feel like next thing you know, we're running right into reindeer games. So
right, jingle.
So obviously Melissa and Colleen are down there at risk of having to compete. We find out our champion that's coming in tonight is Tori. Very annoying. Tori pulls Melissa. So Melissa has to go up against Tori, and the elimination competition was something called Going Under, which was basically like an underwater puzzle. They had to swim in these big tanks underwater, collect their puzzle pieces, and then recreate the puzzle. Melissa wasn't very good at this. she was not very good. Yeah, Tori won this pretty easily, unfortunately.
Decimated her.
But this was kind of whatever. I just felt like this was probably my least favorite episode of this whole season so far.
There wasn't much to it, honestly.
At least if we had gotten like an appearance from like a Laurel or a Cara or a CT or something, I would have been like, okay, that it was worth it. But whatever.
It almost just kind of feels like the whole purpose of this episode was to set up things that are to come, like the implosion of the women with each other, and like something happening with Emmanuel. Like I feel like there are things coming that like this feels like the backstory of. You know what I mean?
In the works. I guess we'll see. But Melissa gets eliminated, goes home. Tori takes $10,000 from the prize pot, so we are now down to $366,000 in the pot. And that's pretty much it from this past episode. Anybody else have anything else? I just know the next on the Daily Challenge looks pretty crazy. I don't even remember why at this point, but I wrote Daily Challenge looks crazy. Looks like Mariah's in trouble still, which we talked about a lot tonight. And then TJ teased that a big champ would be joining us. Apparently, this person has competed on 14 seasons. I don't know if that means 14 just regular MTV seasons. Does that include the Champs versus Stars spinoffs and stuff like that? So.
Well, I have to imagine it's for sure going to be a men's elimination in the next episode if we did 2 women's in a row.
Yeah, if it's a men's elimination, it's somebody who's been in 14 challenges. I would have to assume it's Brad.
Yeah, the only men left, right, are Brad, CT, and Darrell.
CT is going to be later. They're not going
to, because CT's done like 18 seasons or something, right?
CT's been around for a really long time, and I think they would also have missed the mark on not having CT's episode air at the same time as the Traders. So
Traders.
Right, just from that standpoint, push CT back.
Other reason I feel like that's one of the most like highly anticipated ones, so it's going to be like that's going to round out the mercenaries or something.
Just like Cara, we know Cara is going to be last. I think the next female we see is going to be Laurel, and then it'll probably be Cara. I think we're getting Brad next. I would almost challenge Darrell at 14 between all the offshoots he's done as well. I'd be surprised if he only did 14, because he's been in every All-Stars. That's already another 3.
Yeah.
He's only done 13 challenges before All-Stars. That I don't know, That
Yeah,
sounds.
I think you're right.
Sounds
Brad,
too
I think
low.
is
Unless Brad is even less than 13. That would be the only reason. I don't think we've seen more of Brad than we have of Jarrell.
yeah. Yeah, I guess we'll see. But I think you're right. Probably Brad. That's what I'm going with. That's my guess.
No, I would agree.
But all right.
Our
Any other
chances are
last?
Brad.
Oh yeah, I like Brad.
I like
Especially
Brad.
since he started growing that crazy beard. You know.
That's not my fave. But I do like him. I think he just really just has a respect for the game and enjoys playing it. And for as far as I can remember, he's always had a decently graceful exit. He may not have graceful moments up to like the elimination and how that goes, but like I don't think he's ever had like a fiery exit. He's always like, you know what? All right, I lost.
Right.
I lost.
Yeah, he's always a good sport.
Yeah.
But okay, I think that's it. Any other last thoughts for the Challenge 39?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Looking forward to better days.
Yes. Okay.
And better days for Team Petty. Can I see my graphic? Where am I?
Oh, yeah,
Decimated.
I didn't know if you wanted to.
I am not a good draft picker. That's the bottom line. I don't do well with these. That's not true. Let me take that back.
That's not true.
I won Big Brother 25. I won.
It's whoever goes first is cursed in every single show.
Someone's got to break the curse, I guess, you know. But hey,
did we go first or second in reindeer games?
I think we went second.
Oh, okay.
Second in reindeer games, and that's not faring well for us.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If we were first, it's continuing the curse.
Yeah, well, things got a little better for us tonight. But speaking of reindeer games, that's what we have coming up next at 10:30 p.m., give or take maybe a couple of minutes. We will be getting into Big Brother reindeer games with our pals at who all gonna be there. We did a joint draft with them. It's pod versus pod. So far, we are doing worse than they are.
Oh yeah,
but
well, we're not decimated anymore, right? We're not.
Yeah. It's evening out. It's evening out.
Things are looking a little better. So
exactly. Either way,
I thought we were in big trouble, but we weren't.
I thought we were in big trouble too. But no matter how this went, somebody had to be down 2, and somebody had to be only down 1.
Right.
That's the best situation that one could be in when there's only 3 episodes and 3 eliminations in 1 week. So we're gonna maintain that. We're gonna be cool, calm, and confident as we go into this conversation. We're not gonna let them throw us to and fro.
That's right.
We are standing Strat Chat strong.
That's right. We're the comeback kids. The comeback kids.
Yes,
you know?
we are. Yes, we are. Even though I still think Frankie won.
But all right, so that's 10:30 p.m. Join us there. We'll be talking about Big Brother reindeer games. Other than that, we'll be back Monday, right? That'll be the next time we're back. And we'll be talking Survivor.
Monday. Yeah. Survivor 45.
Yeah. And that'll be 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's what we have going on.
I can't believe there's only one thing happening. That is been
I know.
I know. I'm like, no, but what else?
That's
are we
like,
doing?
wait, Monday. That's why I kept saying, wait, Monday? No, that really is it. One stream. Get your life.
That's right. And other than that,
should we push it back?
I don't know.
Or would you prefer to be have an early eve? The whole night ahead of you.
Oh, because what time is Big Brother reindeer games on Monday?
Oh,
is it 8 or 9?
Sure. I'm not sure.
Because if we did Survivor earlier, I just at this point, now that we're in the reindeer games and we know that this is a holly jolly jingle jangle good time, like, are we really sure that we don't want to be watching live? Like, I don't know. We have to explore that. Let's have a conversation.
We'll figure it out.
But it most certainly gives people a reason to check the socials, right? Because we've been posting our full week streaming schedule on there. So John, carry us out. Tell us where they can find our schedule.
Yeah, if you head over to our Twitter or Instagram at StratChatPod, we started putting out our weekly schedule. Check out everything that we did this past week, along with Survivor 45 talk. We did a couple more exit interviews with the Big Brother Australia cast. Obviously, we're doing the challenge tonight, and if you join us in a little bit, a few more minutes, we'll be talking reindeer games. And then next week, we'll be putting out a new weekly schedule with what's going on. So
Hell yeah.
yeah, follow us on the socials, throw us a like, leave us a comment. We love to talk to you. Subscribe, all that good stuff, and follow us on find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, leave a review. That would be very helpful. And that's it.
Everywhere
We
you
will
want to
see
be.
you everywhere you want to be. All right.
So
All right. We will see you in a few minutes to talk about BB reindeer games. Lido, 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 Lido.